What?
Tell me.
I'll edit it.
Huh?
I'll edit the video.
You edit video.
I will.
That thing you're taking the air out,
Oh.
you shave me, and you.
No,
Another
I'm
photo.
not going to Photoshop it.
Good.
Okay, will you tell me what your name is?
Oh, Tito Buzani.
And you work at CHTM?
I work at Center for High Technology Material, CHTM, and I'm an associate research faculty, and I'm also the nanofabrication facility manager over here.
What does it mean to be the facility manager for nanotechnology?
It means to oversee the operation that we have in the facility is a research facility. So what we have, we do a lot of nanotechnology in a way of structure, thin film, and what we do, we have some equipment and some structure that are available for external user and internal user. So I pretty much have to oversee the contract, I have to oversee the technology that's going on, I have to understand if our customer, when I speak about customer, it's not, it's not like, in a customer service when you call team, I don't know, a company and say, I need this product. It's more like technical, so when the customer have to fill up and define what they want to do, what kind of, it's not necessarily a product, it can be just a research product, and then we see how we can help them to have a better product or a better research, or just providing them with the facility, the equipment that we have, and obviously they are charged by hour. And then oversee the internal research that is going on at the nanofabrication facility here at UNM, contracting, purchasing, so it's pretty much everything.
Where does the funding come for the research that you do here?
Funding comes from agency, from Department of Energy. They come from mainly the way we fund ourselves and our structure is through the PIs, the faculty. So we write grants, and then we have students, postdocs, senior researcher, staff working inside the facility. So the main source of funding really comes from grants. I named some National Science Foundation, or the Department of Energy, Defense, Air Force Labs, all kind of for research related. Other funding they come for.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, we're on.
And then other funding can come from external user that they use our facility. And all this funding mainly they help to pay for the staff. They help to pay for the operation that are going on. We have security system, all these things that need to be paid. Certain consumable that we provide, included in the charge.
Do you do research yourself?
Yes, I do.
What's it like being overseeing other research? Do you have meetings every week, or how do you keep tabs on everything?
Let's say I know what happened in the other research, other group research. I don't have the influence to change the research, and I collaborate with my research with other research group. So let's say I don't oversee the research overall, but if the students or the people that work in our facility on their research, they need help, suggestion on how to improve what they do, and if it's feasible what they do, then they say we counsel them. And it's based on our user facility agreement. But it's very good for me having my research and crossing all the field, because it helps to open collaboration and understand what our research field, and help me to understand what we need in order to accommodate other people's research better. And so it gives you a broad knowledge, and also makes you knowledgeable of what is obsolete, or what need to be implemented in our facility.
Don't you work in collaboration with Sandia National Laboratories also?
Yeah, through the Center for Integrated Nanotechnology, CINT. And we use also their facility, and we have user proposal with them, and they have some equipment that we don't have. Different kind of facilities. Is a user facility based on user proposal. So with internal contact, they are interested in our research. We have always user proposal, and we try to stay in contact. And our students, they can go up there and use the facility when the user agreement, not the user agreement, but the user proposal is accepted.
Why do you think that the research that you're doing is important?
No, that's it's like asking every father, why do you think it's important that your kid will grow up with a good education? Research is important, research drive technology, and so drive better life for the rest of the world. So that's how technology helps a better life for everybody. So the research we do, we try to do in order that in the future people will have not necessarily more comfort life, but having mean of living and have motivation to do or help other people's business. So
What do you think the difference is between science and engineering?
it's a borderline, but engineers, they make something that is available to the market, and scientists probably they show them feasibility. Sometimes I think the real difference is we show feasibility, which means this can be done at the research level, so it exists, it's possible. Engineers have to figure it out how to make it possible for large consumers.
When were you first interested in science?
Oh, when? Sorry, I was waiting for the long time ago. I was 6 years old when I asked my dad to buy me a chemistry book, and I read it and I couldn't understand a word. I just memorized it. But and then I became interested in astronomy, and finally I went through nuclear engineering because it was nuclear engineering is a very nice field. It crosses a lot of science and engineering, physics, mathematics, and engineering. So I would say I probably was 6 years old, and my father introduced me to chemistry.
Okay, so your father was a chemist, or?
No, he was not. He was not at all a chemist. It was what we today we can picture him like a CPA, but he was a director of a post in the post office. But he always liked science, and I always loved science since I don't remember when I really liked it. So he introduced me to chemistry with some chemical experiments in the garage.
Nice.
The little chemistry.
Yeah. So it sounds like you kind of wandered through different content areas of science before finally settling down into your nanotechnology field?
Yeah, I went through many nuclear engineering, microelectronic, and but I always been in material. Pretty much always interested in material, not just in pure physics or pure mathematics, but in materials, so applied physics or applied mathematics. So, and so finally, and now you have to change. You cannot learn a subject and stay with the subject all of your life. I mean, many engineers they do because that's what they do. They produce things for the large market consumer. So if you are an engineer in what is called in turbine engine for an airplane, you can spend all your life on that one. You jump from one company to another company. But engineers, they develop things. We have to research things. So sometimes you find that research, either you can't continue on that research level because it's beyond your capabilities, and your capabilities means that you don't have enough money to purchase certain equipment. And microelectronics, really, right now, only the big companies they can invest to have certain research or certain devices fabricated. So you have to, and then you have to have new motivation, maybe changing your field of experience, maintaining, and that's why I like materials, because it crosses a lot of field of engineering. So renewable energy as well, nanotechnology. You can apply the nanotechnology to many fields of science.
Did you love mathematics when you were in school?
Yes and no. I mean, I always liked mathematics, was intriguing, but I never think to become a mathematician. I can't. People like just to write equations. People like to apply equations, but it was always fun, intriguing, and interesting.
Do you think it's really important to have mathematics background if you want to go into science?
Yes, definitely, yes. It's indispensable. Understanding mathematics helps you to, and also it's a good process of mind. Mathematics helps the way of thinking, how you think. I would say play chess. If you don't like mathematics, play chess. Or study philosophy. They do the same thing. It's the way of thinking. As You start from a point and you drive your thought through that towards a conclusion, and have to be logic. So they teach you logic.
Oh, very good. So what about nowadays? It used to be that mathematics was done on paper, pencil, with then slide rules. Now we have graphing calculators and computers. Do you think that maybe we're losing the discipline that you were talking about with mathematics as far as education?
We are in the age of can I Google it? Can I Google it? And we can find everything on the web. But in reality, do we understand what is behind what you find? It can give you a solution, but you don't really understand how you try the solution. So honestly, I would go back to the once you get out, once you have your bachelor, you can use those tools because you have an understanding and you know where to find things. But until then, I think we should stay with the old method, even if it's not fast, because it won't be fast nowadays and it takes time. But it makes you understand what is behind. It's indispensable because then when you apply those tools that are already available, then you know you don't know exactly how they operate those tools, but you understand. How can you understand if the data they give you are wrong or right if you don't know how to do it yourself? And I understand certain calculation can take days, so you use a computer or use whatever tool available, but you have to be able to set up the problem.
Right.
That's what I say. If you are not able to set up the problem, the tools is meaningless. I mean, I had a student, specifically one student, that he came back to me and I asked, why do you think this is correct? And he said, oh, because the computer says that. You see, wrong, Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, but you have to understand it. And the only way to understand it is know.
Do you have any recommendations for anybody who's interested in getting into science or engineering?
But many people say it's a stable job, which is not necessarily true. I don't say, if you like science and engineering, move forward. There are challenges. Mathematics, physics, people say it's not easy. I would say if I would be an accountant, it won't be easy for me. Maybe it's easier to understand. But my set of mind is, it doesn't make much sense what we do. So it would be harder for me to work on a field that I don't really understand. It doesn't have a logic. There's a logic behind, but it's not the same logic that I use. So if you think that your thinking is like an engineering, then go through that, because you will never be a good lawyer otherwise. It depends how you are set up, and everybody's different. So do what you think is easier for you, and challenge you, and you like that challenge. If you don't like that challenge, just drop it. Otherwise, you become a bargain. So, and that's applied to everything.
So you love what you do?
But it's motivates me. If I like it. I mean, if I don't, it would be hard for me. But also, science has a problem, a very simple problem. If you go in science and research, most of the time, sometimes you have good data, good results, very motivating, very exciting. And for a long time, it's just a routine to optimize, and maybe you get anything. So you have to have a self-motivation. If you are not a self-motivated person, research is very hard. And that's why I say, if you want to go for a PhD, I always say the first thing is the motivation. I mean, if you get to a level that you can start a PhD, you probably have already a good understanding of what are the challenges. I'm speaking about math, physics, science, chemistry. So, and you understand yourself if you are capable to investigate, to analyze, to go further. And so at that point is how much motivation you have, because it's easy and it's not easy.
What do you think about vocations? What are the opportunities? Do we have enough engineers and physicists and scientists? Can you go into this field and
It's hard to say, but what I say is that, I'm speaking about specifically United States or worldwide?
United States.
United States. You import a lot of people from Asia, a lot of people from Europe, from Middle East. So definitely there are not enough from United States. Okay, but United States has also been a place where imported people all the time, right?
Right.
So that makes sense with what is United States. Is everybody. You can be Native American, born in the United States. Maybe most of the time they tell, oh, my parents were Irish, my parents were Japanese, my parents were, French, German, Italian, whatever. So, you understand that, very few people say, oh yeah, my parents have been 300 years in the United States.
Why do you think not very many students are interested in going into this field?
American students.
Right.
That study in America,
Right.
in this way. They start the bachelor's study. There are a few reasons, and one thing I analyze is that for those students, how much let's be honest, how much is a PhD student paid? Okay, well, we have to pay his tuition. Sure, tuition has cost money. Okay, but a good PhD student usually, even in a good university, is paid $1,500 a month. So go and tell someone that already have 5 years bachelor, that has accumulated debt, and he has to pay his student loan, and now he's going for the next 5 years between the master and the PhD, 5-6 years, with $1,500 a month. And then on the side, as an engineer, they propose him a job of $70,000 a year. What is the choice? I prefer to pay off my debt most of the time. You say that and raise a family and see if. And there is always a motivation, and there are cases like this, and there is much better opportunity from life point of view, and you cannot. And some they come in the research field. Also, there is the other big problem is after you get your PhD, most of the people think, okay, I stay in the university, I can have a good income, which is not true. Only 1% become professor, and they can have a good income. And if you don't, you are back in the business looking for a company. So why I have to become a PhD to spend 5 years of my life? So there are a lot of challenges. So I think there are opportunities, and I think the one that is different opportunities, and it's a contest of the social life, And but right now the research field is very tough. If you want to make it through, it's very competitive, and so and maybe the industry is very competitive, but there are much more opportunities.
Mm-hmm. How important is collaboration in this field?
Extremely important. If you don't collaborate, probably 1 over 100,000 will do a very good research. Mm-hmm. Also, if you don't collaborate, you don't get research money. The best way to do research money, first you have to build up a reputation, and building up a reputation, if you collaborate with group, you can build up your reputation faster. And even if you build up a good reputation, you cannot just submit a grant by yourself or asking $1 million funding just for yourself. Let's say it's better to collaborate and get 300K instead of 1 million, but you have 300K. And also when you collaborate with better group or less better group. So, and that's the way you do research: teamwork and collaboration, brainstorming.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any recommendations for someone who would want to get into this field?
I always say, before you start a PhD, test if it's the way you want to go. I mean, to come in this field in nanotechnology, test if the way you want to go. It's funny because this is against our interest, but I always say, take your master maybe in a different field, take your bachelor and investigate if you like something else. And I always say the engineers, maybe you want to have a master in business and then do a PhD in science. And so and after the PhD you see that you don't like faculty life or university life, you have an option. You have your PhD, but also you have your MBA. Mm-hmm. So, but if you start, you know which direction to take. So unless you are sure you want to stay in university, at least do a PhD that has application in industry. So at least you can sell yourself after that, and you are available on the market. You are marketable, how you say.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you for the interview.
Thank you.